This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. News of the week. Well, the Ukraine war is still going on. But it's interesting, at the beginning of it, there were a number of locals that said, yeah, I hope Ukraine kicks Russia's butt. They were hoping that. Now I would hear that once in a while. But as the weeks went by, and for a month plus now, I hear people saying, why are we sending our tax dollars over there to fight a war that should have been negotiated a long time ago, one way or another? Why are we keep sending billions, countless billions, into a war money pit? Why? Now, the next news event is, of course, Musk firing a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch. And some of those people said, you don't know what it's like to be fired. And a great number of people. Well, here in McCook, Nebraska, a town of 7,000 people, in 1983, we had 200 jobs fired. 200 TRW jobs were done. Those 200 jobs went to Mexico because they'd work for 40 cents an hour down there compared to $4 an hour here in McCook, Nebraska. And yes, I was one of those people. And without question, it became very difficult to get any kind of work. And many times I would have 2, sometimes 3 part-time jobs just to make near what I made at TRW, though I would add another 10 to 15 hours to try to catch up with what I was making. And it was a very hard time. So I think many of us across this country have been fired, and we figured out a way to make it work in another direction. Yeah. Next, local, I had a gentleman come up and he said, I guess I'm getting sued. I got to get me a lawyer. And I said, what'd you do? And he said, no. He said, my wife passed away some years back, and now her sister is suing the estate, though it was long since settled, and her sister at that time got nothing because his wife didn't like her sister. Okay. But anyway, her sister is suing now for her to take care of her and pay the bills in the nursing home for her. And so with that in mind, he said, I better get a lawyer. He said it should be an open and shut case. But considering the way the world is now, he said, I better get a lawyer and make sure everything is done right so she can't make him go to the poorhouse so that she can stay in the nursing home. Another point in a different news stroke, and that's they're talking about that we may only have less than a month of diesel fuel left for the United States. Yeah. At the same time, we're still sending it over to Europe. We're still sending shiploads of it over to Europe. No problem there, is there? Of course not. But I would tell you that without those truckers and that diesel, we are going to be in a bucket of trouble. Absolutely. And all the electric car and all the climate change people that think electric is the only thing we need, you know, I think they'd find out real quick that it isn't that much fun to be in the dark ages where we could be very, very easily. Very easily. And I'd give you an example of just what a shortage might be in and for everything. My wife's a deer hunter for a plus 45 years. She's very good at her sport, without question, taking an awful lot of deer. But as she turns 69, she likes that lighter load in a 30-06. She still shoots a 30-06, but she has a commercial load that she buys, and that commercial load is about a third the kick and power, or about equal to a 30-30. Still plenty to kill a deer. And so I went out a few weeks back and was going to order one, and the guy out there, he said, well, yeah, he said, yeah, we can order it for you, but he said, And I said, will it get here in time for deer season? He said, most definitely, next year. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, there's a year waiting list right now already for ammunition. So I buy this year to get ammunition for next year. Wow. And can you imagine if it's that bad now for that and many other items, what it would be like is if that diesel fuel runs out. It's McCook's Mr. Bill.